I was talking with a buddy of mine, and he came to me. He was like, "Say, Bowles, bro." He said, "Man, I need more freedom." I said, "Freedom? Like, what you mean?" He said, "It's my job, man. It's like I feel like a slave to it. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I like what I do. It's that when I come home, I don't really have any time with the wife and kids. And on the weekends, I feel like I'm too tired to even enjoy them even then when I'm not working overtime." I said, "I see." He said, "Yeah, man, so it's like I feel like a slave to it, man. It's like I'm living for the weekends that I can't really enjoy because all I do is rest during the weekends, man." I said, "Oh, you just got to increase your level of execution." He's like, "What you mean increase my level? What you mean, man? I'm talking to you about needing to be free. You talking about execution. What you talking about?" I said, "Man, you said you like what you do, right? Do you really like what you do?" He said, "Yeah, man, I really do, man. It's just that it had me so tired." I said, "Well, increase your level of execution." I said, "Listen, man, look at Harriet Tubman. Harriet said, listen, I'm going to be free or I'm going to die. There is no middle ground. I'm going to be free or I die." And she tracked 100 miles from Maryland to Philadelphia. Do you know the level of execution required in order to get from Maryland to a place she had never been before? He said, "Yeah, I think I see what you're saying." I said, No, but it don't stop there. When she got there, they were like, "Hey, Harriet, hey, you good now? You free?" She said, "No, I'm not free until my people free." And so Harriet had to track back 100 miles back to the plantation where she came from to get her people. And then she had to go with her people, with the ones who will come with her at that time. Do you know the increased level of execution it took for Harriet to get not only her, but other people? And when I say other people, I'm talking about she took women, she took men, she took elderly, she took babies. Do you know the level of execution it took? He said, "I think I understand." I said, "No, you really don't." And when she got there, they were like, "Oh man, this is a miracle. Like that's it. Like you can't go back. Like nobody has ever done what you done and lose nobody. Like you can't go back. You good? You got your people here?" She said, No. That's not all of them. I said, my people, not just some of my people, but I'm not free until my people are free. I'm talking about all of them. I'm going back. They said, "Listen, I forbid you to go back." Harriet said, "You have no control over what I do because you don't execute on the level I execute." Do you know the level of execution it took for her to go back? Everybody's looking for Harriet. Everyone, everywhere was looking for Harriet. But she tracked back to get more. He said, "Man, I think I see where you're going with it now." I said, "It don't stop there though. The Slave Act was passed and they had to go to Canada. Now it was 600 miles from Canada to Maryland where she was on a plantation. And Harriet tracked 600 miles. Do you know the level of execution it took? To bring people 600 miles. We're talking about people who's not all 100% bought in. And she lost 0 of them. Do you know the level of execution it took to take folk who's resisting 600 miles to freedom? The level of execution couldn't even be measured because the level of freedom couldn't really be measured. So you say you want to be free, you got to increase your execution to the level of freedom you want. So how free you want to be? I mean, really, how free do you want to be? Do you want Philadelphia level of freedom or do you want Canada level of freedom? Understand there's a difference. With Philadelphia level of freedom, it's a perceived freedom. And all it takes It's just a little tweaking of the laws and you're back in slavery. Though there was a level of execution required, it was temporary. But Canada, though, it didn't matter what laws changed. It didn't touch that freedom. But the level of execution required to get to Canada was on a different level. So how free do you really want to be? What does true freedom look like for you? Understand that when you go to Canada, people are going to think you bonkers. People are going to think you crazy to make that level of sacrifice. People are going to try to forbid you from executing at that level. They're going to think you lost your mind. Harriet's sister refused to go. Harriet's sister said, listen, if you force me to go, I'm going to scream. I'm going to scream and put all us back in slavery. You have to make a decision. There are going to be some people, some mindsets that you're going to have to leave behind in order to go to Canada. So how free do you really want to be? And let's execute at that level. So let's decide what it takes to get to Canada, find out what you have to execute on, and let's get it done. He said, I know exactly what I needed to do. I said, well, let's execute. Let's get it done.